What's up guys, it's Manga Time once again with Bleach 544, Walking with Watchers. Before we begin, in the description below you will find my blog where there's a written version of this review. Please go and check it out, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you want to talk to me about Bleach, follow me on Twitter at Tomo2304, it's as simple as that. Now, on to the chapter, and I have, well, not mixed views. I really like this chapter, it's really good. However, there is something that really doesn't sit well with me, and personally I really don't like one aspect of this chapter, which technically is three aspects, but we'll get into that later. For now though, we begin the chapter with Uryu and Bark. Now, Uryu questions Bark as to why he chose him as his successor, which I suppose we're all kind of wondering. Bark says that it's really quite obvious if you think about it. And he says that his Sternritter just aren't prudent enough to think about it, but he's also glad the Sternritter aren't idiots who would just accept it without a second thought, as we saw in the last chapter. So Bark basically reveals that Uryu survived his holy selection, the Al Schwalen that killed Katagiri and indirectly Masaki. And he basically, he says to Uryu that you have a power inside you that can surpass my own power. Which to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because isn't Bark the Quincy progenitor? Therefore all Quincy power stems from Bark, so how can anyone be able to surpass Bark's power? Well, not surpass it, like how can anyone, not be affected by Bark's power? Because it all comes from Bark in the first place, so that's just kind of weird. But it's cool though, because it means Uryu is special, and Uryu is going to get some, we know he's going to get some uber power up anyway. But yeah, that's really, I do like that. I think it's cool. And so Bark says, Bark basically says to him, the reason you're my successor is because of that. A little flimsy, and we find out why later on. However, before that, we have to get to the part of the chapter that I really don't like. Basically, it's kind of weird. Basically, this random Quincy soldier, Bambietta Basterbine, if you remember her, she's Sternritter E. She's the girl who stole Komamura's Kokujo Tengen Mio in the original invasion. She says to this guy, you come with me, I want to do it, come to my room, right? And I'm pretty sure she is implying what you think she's implying. She wants to have sex with this guy, right? So the guy's like, okay, it's an honor. He follows her into her room. He then gets split in half. Now, a little bit of time has passed because the dude has his shirt off and she has, buttons undone. I don't think they've actually done anything, though. I think she kind of lures guys into her room when she's annoyed and then kills them. Yeah. I'm not sure how much I like this character. I mean, what? The thing is, the way it's worded in this chapter, I'm not even sure she's the one who killed the guy. But basically, yeah, she kills this guy, and then we get the introduction of 4 new characters. And I turn the page, and whoa! It's the Sword 5. Oh wait, no it's not. It's 4 very unoriginal looking characters, and it really annoys me. Okay, I don't mind one of them. Sternritter G, Lil Toto Lampard. I don't mind her because she has an original looking design as far as Bleach goes. I think she'll fight Yachiru personally. And I love the way that she says to Bambietta, the mess created from eating sweets and blood splatters are 2 very different things. And then she calls her a bitch. I really like that because you can kind of imagine Lil Toto says it in some really kind of little girl, like Yachiru. You can imagine she speaks a bit like her, and then she just kind of goes, you bitch. So it's like, wow, okay. She's a bit nasty. So I kind of like that. The other 3, though. You have Sternritter P, Meninus McAllon, who is my least favourite of the bunch by a long way. It's basically Orihime in a Vandenreich uniform, and a really, really bad Vandenreich uniform at that. Then you have Sternritter T, Candice Catnip. What? And she's awful as well. She basically looks like a mix between Rangiku and the Sword 5 with the pigtails. And then you have Sternritter Z, Giselle Jewel, who looks okay-ish, I suppose, but the reason I'm disappointed here is because obviously Sternritter A is special, so I kind of thought maybe Sternritter Z would be special as well, kind of Yami style, but looking like that, I sincerely doubt it. That's far too bland a character design. I think maybe if there is going to be another special Sternritter, it will be Sternritter X now. But yeah, very disappointed. Yeah, very disappointed. You might have noticed that they all have alliteration in their names, including Bambietta Basterbine. I doubt that really means anything. It's just an interesting little tidbit. But yeah, I don't like these characters. See, I actually thought it was the Sword 5 when I turned the page. You know? Little Toto, she's alright. But the rest of them, nah. The thing is, right, they absolutely scream fodder to me. Like, in the next fight, I reckon 2 of them will be, if not killed, defeated. Certainly defeated. Because Kubo kind of seems to, in my opinion, he seems to be creating an Espada out of the Sternritter. And that Espada includes Asnot, Kangdu, BG9, Master Masculine, Basby, Hashwolf, Uryu, Bambietta, Nana Nanajkoop, Colonel Sanders, and that's probably it. There will also be, people like Askin Naklavar, the guy with the staff who's like, yeah. He'll probably be relatively major as well. But then we have these other Sternritter, like these guys, Driscoll Bursey, these guys who have really not very unique character designs. And people, unlike Driscoll, got completely wasted. So I think Kubo's going to whittle down the Sternritter. He's going to, that's why these guys don't look that amazing compared to the ones I kind of reeled off. Because they're not going to be around for very long. Kubo has to whittle down the Vanderite numbers so that he can make it look like the Soul Society are actually, keeping up. And he's gonna keep the ones that I mentioned to be like the main bad guys, which is why I really get this kind of Espada Fraction vibe from Bambietta and the other Sternritter that were revealed today, even though I think they're meant to be the same level of authority. And it's just because I kind of know they're probably going to get killed off before she is. But yeah, disappointed in them, definitely. That was a big shame. But then Bambietta, you do get a cool shot of Bambietta when her face is kind of shadowed, and she says she's worried about the future of the Vanderite. Now, this was weird as well. I mean, what the hell's going on? Why is there a square appearing in the wall? I don't know, I thought maybe she was taking something out of the wall, but yeah, I presume she's worried about the future of the Vanderite because of Uryu, but we didn't need that many pages to get there. Seriously, how can we go from characters like Asnot to characters like Meninas McCallon? And she looks just like Orihime. Yeah, that definitely annoyed me if you can't tell. But really, that's the only part of the chapter I didn't like. So we move on and we get Hashwolf. He returns to his chambers, takes off his cloak, and there's a maid there. This annoyed me as well, actually. I'm just going to bring this up. This did annoy me. The maid has a more unique design than half of those new Sternritters. She has, black eyes, and she's kind of stoic, she's calm. None of the women Sternritters are like that at all. Why not? Why do they all have to be this cookie cutter, just kind of annoyingly bubbly, but also kind of, I don't know, just why aren't there any kind of cool, calm, collected women Sternritters? The maid looks like the maid has a better character design than Meninas McCallon, right? So yeah, annoyed with that. But anyway, she comments to Hashwolf. She's like, why are you letting this? Well, she doesn't really say why you're letting this happen, but she says, if it's not too impertinent of me to say, what do you think of the decision? Is there going to be dissent between the Sternritter? And Hashwolf says that yes, there is, but I liked this because it kind of shows just how clever Bark is, and it also shows that Hashwolf was in on it the whole time. Basically, by appointing Uryu his successor, Bark knew that all the Sternritter would get annoyed, and they would all then keep their eyes on Uryu, meaning Uryu can't rebel even if he wants to. Now this is really good. Bark clearly doesn't trust Uryu, and it really kind of reinforces to me that Uryu is probably still a good guy. Because Uryu now is definitely alone in this world where there's lots of people who don't like him, lots of people who don't like him, and he's gonna appear even more heroic, I think, by trying to stake it out. Why he's staking it out, I don't really know yet. But yeah, really interesting. I really did like that. And Yhwach is very well aware. Now, he says something interesting at the end. He says, even if he's aware of His Majesty's intentions, what are Bark's intentions, though? Why is he using Uryu? Is it to get to Ichigo? I'm really not sure. However, we then get to the most interesting part of the chapter for me, and I was thoroughly excited during this part, I have to say, because the ramifications, the potential ramifications, are massive. Absolutely massive. Basically, we go to Hueco Mundo, and Orihime is arriving at this temple place, and she has this really weird little camera guy with her. But that's not important. The camera's called Pero or something. Not important. What's important is the fact that Chad is already there. Grimjo in the background, in case you didn't notice. Grimjo standing in the background. Conveniently, you can only see the bottom half of him. Although, if my potential ramifications come true, that might not be Grimjo, but I think it probably is. But basically, Chad utters the single most interesting line in the entire chapter. Everyone has already arrived. What? They're in Hueco Mundo, there's no one there. So, who could it be? Right. Let's have your theories, everyone. Okay? Open the floodgates. Because Orihime is surprised to hear everyone. Now, I don't know if maybe everyone then shows themselves, because Orihime kind of goes, eh? Like, mega surprised. Now, if this is like a gathering of the surviving Arrancar, then we're going to see Lowly, we're going to see Menali, we're going to see the Tre Bestias, because obviously they were with Chad and Orihime. We'll finally get our Grimjo reveal, but I think the reason Kubo is keeping Grimjo hidden is because he's going to reveal him alongside something else, i.e. returning Espada or anyone. Huh? I can't be the only person who thought that. Seriously, I can totally envision Stark, Neutra, and Yami, to say the least, being in Hueco Mundo, because those three are the only three who could conceivably have survived, in my opinion. Also, I think Tesla might be there, and also Gantenbane Moscada. Very excited, though. I so hope we stay in Hueco Mundo next chapter. If Stark is there, I'm going to flip out. As not style, I'm going to flip out. If Stark is there, I'm going to be so happy. I think possibly bringing those Espada back might be taking it too far for some people, although I don't think many people are really going to be unhappy at seeing Stark and Neutra again. Especially if Grimjo gets revealed at the same time, everyone just go crazy. Before you ask, there is zero chance of Ulquiorra being there. Simply because he was turned to dust. And I wouldn't like him being there, because it would really depower his death. So yeah. And then, so we're left on that bombshell, and then Urahara basically says, I'm glad you got there safely, because this is going to take a while. And he turns around, and I think it's Kurge OP's medallion doing God knows what. Maybe he's analysing it. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's what's going to take a while, him analysing the medallion. So Kubo's hinting at the fact that they might be able to stop them soon. That's the chapter. Wow, that was long. 14 minutes. Okay. So, let's do comment of the week first. I've got two again. The first one is from Katrina Marshall. Thanks for your comment. I don't think Ichigo's Bankai can be stolen. The Quincy power is still in him. Could be wrong, though. Also, I don't think Bark or Ishida trust one another. I'm really looking forward to the fight between Ishida and Kurosaki. Can you imagine the dialogue between them? The part of this I'm going to take out is the correct prediction that Bark and Ishida just don't trust each other. Nicely picked up on, and I think it's really nice to see, because I think a lot of people thought that maybe Bark was kind of blindly just giving Ishida all this power, and I'm really glad to see that it's not. It's all kind of manipulative, but I think there's going to be manipulation on both sides as far as Bark and Uryu go. So I'm really happy about that. That's really awesome. And the second comment of the week comes from Jazz0114. My guess is that the Colonel Sanders Quincy is Sternritter C, not standing for Colonel, of course, yeah. But just the hierarchy thing with the letters and the fact that this guy went toe-to-toe with Shinsui makes me believe he'd be ideal for C. I completely agree with you. At first, I did think he might be G for gun, but now that that's little Toto Lampard, I definitely think Colonel Sanders is C. A lot of people have theorised that Askin Nak Lavar is the guy who came up against Ukitake. That would certainly feed with the idea that the letters do form some kind of hierarchy as well as individual powers. Because Askin's D, and if Colonel Sanders was C, then he could go with, Shinsui, that would work out. So yeah, I can certainly see that happening. Panel of the week. Honestly, there weren't many standout panels this week. Because it was quite, story-focused and talking-based. If I had to go for one, there is this really epic panel of Bark at the beginning, when he's talking with Uryu, and he says, "Come with me." He's sort of just cloaked in shadow, and he looks like such an evil overlord emperor. I thought that was epic. That's mine. Let me know in the comments below what's yours. Predictions for next week. It's hard to say, because I just don't know where it's going to go. But I hope it stays in Hueco Mundo, and I hope we get to see who the other people are. Maybe we'll finally get our Grimjo reveal. But if we do, that's how the chapter will end. I don't think we'll see the Vanderreich again. I don't know. It's difficult to say. But yeah, overall I give the chapter a 9 out of 10. The new Sternritter definitely drop it down a notch. For me, that was lame. I hope Candice, Catnip, and Menenius McCallon meet their end in the next fight. But apart from that, let me know, guys, what you think of this chapter. Do you like the new Sternritter? Who's your favourite Sternritter overall? Once again, please check out my blog and follow me on Twitter at Tomo2304. You can get there just by going on my channel page, I think. I'd really love to see you guys on there, and that's it for me. That's it for this week's rather long chapter review. So thanks for watching it all the way to the end if you did. Until then, guys, see you next time.